Mount St. Mary's coming off a loss to Western Michigan, 83-60. And Ohio State beat the Broncos handily here the other night by Mobley. He'll fire away and drain his first three.
And after possession going as fast as possible, and Ohio State trying to emulate what their head coach wants.
Rising Rosickeas nails a triple. And it's the corner. The closeout for Mobley. Ohio State set. Rolling McKeldin for two, and we're tied.
By the Mount, finding the open man and a great finish inside.
Devin Royal will try and roll in a three. That is a new part of his game.
Six for your space to be able to find the bigs down low.
Tilly was left all alone. Royal there, easy putback.
And Devin Royal's playing on the wing now. He's playing that three spot for
from Ohio State on this end.
Keep competing, and they're playing hard and disrupting a lot of what Mount St. Mary's wants to do as they hit another three here. It's just going to come to
expected that Ohio State can really handle Mount St. Mary's on the glass. Not the case so far. And a walk for Keys in transit. Back and forth. Mary's lost by 23. But it's college basketball, so you have no idea what's going to happen. Amari Bynum drains a three. We highlighted him. Rosickeas going for his second three, leaves it short. And Tilly will run the break as a 7-footer. Tilly taking long strides. Hard fall, drew the foul.
He's just so excited about what Tilly brings, and he's proven it each night.
You can see he has a smooth shooting stroke, trying to get, but he appreciates the confidence that the coaches give him to shoot through misses.
That's exactly right. In
game now, Ivan Yagovin is in. Steal for Mobley. Bynum on the run. Bynum stripped and a foul. You're thinking a lob, and how exciting is that combination over the next couple of years for Ohio State fans? And how much of a nightmare is it?
Oh, there's a football game this week?
Yeah, haven't heard. Mobley rising, mid-range for two. You rarely see him
to get very well right there.
Lipscomb looking for a teammate. Rolling over to Yahya Diop. Swinging around to Lipscomb. Impact at that point guard spot. They're going to need him to play well. Bruce Thornton turns and scores. That is money for Thornton.
And when he gets in, this team goes as number 2 in white. Bruce Thornton goes.
He could score 38 like he did against PFW earlier this year. As Mount St. Mary's respond.
That's how good of a player he is. More concerned with getting others involved to start the game, as he should be.
Mobley with another mid-range. The lost start.
Plus, you get all the Big Ten games in one spot.
Buckeyes back to work. Tilly the footwork for two.
And I could go on and on about how.
Shovel off to Espinoza. 9 to shoot. So will rise and hit for the mid-range. Much needed buck.
He's getting into the inside the arc and using his pull-up jump shot. Very crafty player, number 4.
Tilly from downtown. Maybe that builds the confidence from 3. He can get that going. Tilly's going to be unstoppable.
They're a heck of a shooter and not so good at FIFA.
He still claims he's the best shooter on the team, even with the players today. So that's nailed by.
And Mount St. Mary's finding their groove here. A couple great offensive possessions, coupled by some good defensive possessions. And a 10-point ball game, closer than you think.
He's trying to hang around as Royal.
Ohio State.
A lot more size and physicality on the perimeter now. Lob inside McKeldin. No guarding. McKeldin spinning to his left. Aim for the Mountaineers. Took Maryland right down to the wire. 5-point loss in overtime at College Park. Keys over the top. Raindrop falls off. That is one heck of a team. Multiple years going to the national championship game. Won it all back in 1960. As Tilly picks up the bucket and
hasn't been knocking down shots yet, but more than capable.
No pun intended. He unlocks the offense for Mount St. Mary's. Thornton with a beautiful ball fake and step. Scooped up by Tilly. It's been a comfortable lead for Ohio State most of the half here from 8 to 13. And now Thornton starts going to Pittsburgh on Friday. Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow night at Jake Diebler's house. Dish off McKeldin right past his old teammate. Ooh, nearly let it slip. McKeldin finds himself open. Pass Bynum, missed it. And out of bounds off Bynum. Could not correct. Mobley in the post, leaning in, and got another foul on Mount St. Mary's.
You think about anytime there's a game right before Christmas time or right before Thanksgiving like tonight, are the players looking ahead to some family time?
On the timer. Royal got pushed, no call. Out to Knoll. Wanted to shoot, second try, yes!
The ball in his hands, not having plays called for him. He's beginning to figure it out in practice and now doing it in the game as well.
Rolls out for Rosickeas. Touch it right state. Thornton step back. In his bag.
Deebs, number 33, the legend, only 4 for him.
Look at average per game. Mobley turnaround. Tilly's going to start the second half on the bench with Njegovan in the game. They get it to Yvonne for the first score.
Big Von is done
To Knoll. Mobley accelerating around the screen. Hop step for 2. Coming into the second half. Royal creates space and hits. It's a Thornton has the rebound. Getting bumped by Rosickeas. Dish off. Knoll tried the quick finish and got the goaltending. Nifty behind the back to Lipscomb. A deep 3 for Keys, who finally hits his first 3.
If Mount St. Mary's wants to make this a basketball game, number 2 in black, Keys is going to have to get going.
And Mobley responds. That's pure.
John Mobley
And off the mark. He's got a funky shooting motion. A little Derek Fisher-esque. Royal handling the ball and pulling for the free throw line.
Going to be handling the ball more and playing on the wing and getting an early start at doing so. Got to commend him for having some foresight, though.
Launches for 3. Fouled, and he got it. Keys thought better to shoot. Over to So. Pull up. Yes. Mount St. Mary's on this end. 5 for 25 from 3. And Diop finds himself wide open.
Especially on this end of the court. There's been a couple tough buckets already for Mount St. Mary's. Trying to gain some momentum going into this really tough part of the schedule.
Not the guy you want to leave. 9 in the second half now. All bench players out there for Ohio State. And Njegovan.
In the country, top to bottom. There's no off nights in this league.
That is a great pass from Bynum to Njegovan. But Ohio State to the top 5 or 6.
That's right, and in order to do that, you're going to need more productions from guys like Njegovan and Gabe Cupps and Amari Bynum. And it was as fun of a game, as exciting of an offensive battle as I've seen in years.
You're going to get some offense with those European players. Njegovan, another one.
Eubler with a little sigh every time the ball goes inside. He's got to draw a line in the sand on the defensive end.
White and Njegovan tipped it to Grujicic.
Find him over 60 assists, just 13 turnovers this year. It's just exactly what Tom Izzo wants out of a point guard.
On the back cut. Roy.
But for my money, the Big Ten have the best collegiate basketball players.
As McKeldin rolls it in. Tom Izzo just keeps doing it.
And every year, it's the same discourse. Does Tom Izzo still have his fastball? Is this the team that's going to be the first team?
Now, not the first 3 of his career. His first points as a Buckeye came off a banked 3. Defending McKeldin, who lays it home.
Well, you name it. This is the workouts that I used to do on game days. Eventually, I had to tell him, Coach Q, maybe if I was in the weight room as much as Bruce Thornton, I'd be looking like he didn't lose his smoothness.
Oh.
He is smooth as silk, and we watched him shoot, I don't know, 18 for 20 consistently from 3, and shoot around today.
He's an offensive savant. He can really draw plays. Mobley. Yes. Mobley matches his career.
And we've talked about it all night. He's done it every which way, but what's impressed me the most is from the mid-range. He's really becoming that 3-level scorer that we've talked about transition.
They've done that tonight. Mobley. Got it. Career high 20. And Knoll has the rebound. 41-point lead for Ohio State. Chapman step back. Got it.
Finally getting some shine here in the second half of this game.
Bynum running the floor. Bynum slams it home.
I was like, okay, let's put on a shooting sleeve under my shooting shirt. See if that helps. We rattle off a couple games. That's shooting sleeve's not coming off. I've done crazy things to try and keep
Get down the floor. Over to Njegoven. Bynum running. Njegoven catches and finishes. They tried the big man to big man alley.
Diebler tells him that every single day in practice. We watched him shoot around. He gets on him, rightfully so, for a few mistakes as Chapman smooth as silk again from beyond the arc.
Second three. Vujicic. Swatted out by Njegoven. See if they can get Braylon Nash a bucket. Not this time. Second time passing the century mark this season. So has it roll out. So Chapman, 3 triples. Chapman's like, hey, I'll take us to 118. Nash in the corner right now. Ohio State fans really want him to shoot it. Njegoven extending. For the first time in 6 years, Ohio State is 6-0. Undefeated on the homestand. Difficult schedule coming. 3-point win over an NCAA tournament team from last year. John Mobley Jr. from the floor. Bruce Thornton let the game come to him. 2 for 3 from distance. Over 60%. Balance across the board for an Ohio State team that shot 64% from the floor. Their most efficient offensive performance of the season, and 5 shy of their season high after they scored 118 against IU India.